Spamandrice has just crafted the first ever Endless Anger rune in Season 1, which is probably worth a shit ton of money, but also help him get to rank 1. So today we will see how he utilizes this rune to get rank 1 in Season 1 of Axie Infinity. First game that Spam is playing is versus a Poison team comp. Now this Poison is running a Venom Master at the front, Poison Touch mid lane, Malediction back lane to get that extra damage from the Gila. A pretty decent setup. Maybe on the front lane you can have another Poison Touch if he crafts it, but this was a very good tiny turtle. Spam was only able to use one card and one energy was wasted. The Kotaro goes through, gets that one energy, Green Thorns as well, and Tricky, not the best card on the mid lane. I think Tricky's, I mean, it's okay, but you see when you get it like turn 3, you kind of waste one energy because you're not going to do that much. Chubby hits for 81 when the targets are vulnerable, a ridiculous amount of damage. We see Wall Gecko coming through as well with Gecko Mask, so that Spam is going to be dealing a lot less damage versus this Axie, because he has Poison Touch as well as the Steel Skin. But it shouldn't be that big of an issue for Spam because he's using AoE cards, so he's not focusing that Axie. That's why AoE cards are so good, because you can't really manipulate them the way you can versus other team comps. Dual Blade comes through, doesn't deal that much damage, and then Trifeder yet again, 49 damage to the front, 49 to the back, and this team is melting in front of our eyes. Rancher comes through. A weak on every single Axie is actually not that bad. I think Rancher does have some decent value, especially if you play it at the front. I'm not sure what those ears are. Let's see. Is it Leaf Bug? No, Leaf Bug is at the head. Sidebar, that's the one. Not the best front line, I would say. Definitely looks a little bit budget. I mean, Gecko, Kotaro, I think you just go Yam. If you're playing Venom Master, you might as well just go Yam. But I guess Ranchu does the same job because it's AoE. We see the Fury coming through. Nian doesn't kill the Poison Touch Axie, but all of them are 100 HP or below. Another Kotaro gets that value, and is he gonna be able to do anything significant here? Sidebar applies to Poison and gets that bleed through. We see Gecko coming through, but the Gecko does hurt that Axie because it cannot heal up the HP that it just lost. Again, a lot of AoE cards. We see Grandma's Fan coming through. Earwing is probably going to be the next one. He actually goes for Nian, that attacks the back lane. Trifeder. Was Nian the best play here to attack the back lane? I feel like Earwing would have done more damage, but I'm probably mistaken. There was something around here. 58 damage. I'm not sure. I feel like Earwing would have killed the front lane and the back lane. Maybe he doesn't want to kill them because he wants him to be able to draw cards to both the mid lane and the front lane. Chubby comes through, kills the front lane, kills the back lane. Trifeder's gonna finish off the job, and the Poison team doesn't stand a chance. Game number 2, Spam is facing off versus a very well-known Beast comp, but this Beast is running a double Pango and the back lane doesn't have Endless Anger. He probably wishes he did, but that's not the case. Grandma Fan coming through. Eggshell has 85 damage on it. Look at that. Even versus a Pango, when you apply Vulnerable, it still deals 108 damage. Ridiculous amounts. We see Zen coming through just to heal up a little bit. Little Piece, get that extra rage stack and deal a little bit extra damage. But the Little Piece, I bet you he would want them on the front lane so he can get through that Pango a little bit quicker. Kotaro coming through as well as the Earwing. Even though Spam didn't have that many cards in his hand, the Earwing still deals massive amounts of damage. I mean, 150 effectively for one energy is just a little bit overtuned. And that's what it is. Right, now we see Hero coming through to get that extra card draw. Confident all the way to 6 rage stacks so far, and we will see whether he can make it to the 10 before that Axie falls, because we know that those AoE cards can really hurt. And if Spam draws something like the Grandma's Fan with Chubby, that backlane is going to be struggling for HP, and that's exactly what he draws. Grandma's Fan Chubby and Tri-Feather. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to use all of these cards. I bet you he's going to go for the Tri-Feather just to get that extra bit of damage, and he saves Chubby. Now that is a crucial play, because Chubby next turn is going to be able to kill the back lane and damage the front lane quite heavily. Is he going to be able to go for the rage stack that he needs? He goes for the Fury mode, and that deals a crap ton of damage. Not enough to kill the mid lane, but does it matter? I think that it doesn't, because with the extra Fury that Spam knew he's going to enter, look at the damage on Chubby. 117 to the back lane, 107 to the front lane, and 109 to the mid lane. With the eggshell and the vulnerable, that Axie is down to 35 HP, and I don't see how Alzalus can win this game. I just don't see it happening unless something magical happens, but it's not gonna happen, because he's on 35 HP and he doesn't have any energy left to try and battle that beast of Spamandrice. And with Grandma's Fan, Tri-Feather, Neon, he can choose his card to finish off his opponent, decides to go for the Neon, and that's how he beats a triple beast rage team. And for the final game, Spam is going to face off versus a Sustain team. Now, this Sustain team is in the top of the leaderboards because it does have a Dusk, and if you have Arcane Protection on the Dusk, you take 5% less damage per buff, stacking at 20%, so it's a little bit better than something like the Pango, which stacks at 15%. Malediction also stacks at 15%, this one stacks at 20%. But we can see already Chubby, I think it was Chubby, and Tri-Feather coming through, so all of these Axies have reduced healing as well as a little bit less HP. But there is a Rise and Ruin on the Axie. Now, he does have Silence Whisperer, he does have a Rosebud, but does he have anything to clear those debuffs? Something like a Mint on the back lane could be useful here, just to have those extra cleansers, and we'll see whether that will happen. We see the Wall Gecko coming through, Pumpkin as well, Pure Water a couple of times, as well as Pappy, but the healing reduction from Tri-Feather is really not helping right here. We see Kataro coming through, then probably the Tri-Feather as well as the Earwing, just to get that extra AoE damage, and all of those Sustain Axes are not doing that hot. So they are down to about 200 HP or below, and they really haven't done any damage. I know that they're not supposed to do damage because it's a Sustain team comp, but we'll see whether that Sustain can do anything. Look at the amount of buffs and debuffs on that Axie. I mean, that is a lot of stuff that is happening right here. The Wall Gecko still in position, 370 HP. There's no way that Spam is breaking through that Dawn, but what he can do is just use all of his AoE cards to try and target that mid lane and the back lane of his opponent. Decides to hide one card away, and I'm not sure which card it was. It definitely wasn't Chubby, but he's gonna enter Fury form next, so he wants to have some cards on his back lane so that he can deal that extra damage rather than leaving it up to the draw to decide what cards he's gonna draw. And that's exactly what he has. He goes for Grandma's Fan to get that vulnerability, he goes for the Tri-Feather from the back lane, and then a Chubby to finish off the front lane, and very close to killing that back lane as well, leaving it on just 6 HP, and it's gonna be 3 versus 1 on that Dawn. And without Pure Water, without the ability to take down the healing reduction, I don't see how a Dawn can survive all of these attacks that are coming through his way. We see the Grandma's Fan coming through yet again, killing the back lane, and we have Little Branch as well, getting those extra stacks of rage. Confident for the back lane at 4 stacks right now, and once Spamandrice enters Fury form on the back lane, he's gonna be able to take down this Axie pretty confidently. Freeze Yard healing that mid lane, but what can he do? Can he survive all of these attacks that are coming through? We are yet to see. Kataro with a 60 damage, and it reflects a little bit. Grandma's Fan just prolonging that vulnerability, and then we see Dual Blade coming through, so he applies that Fragile as well. All of the debuffs that you really need to beat a sustain comp are applied. You have the vulnerability, you have the fragile, and you have the doubt as well. So only 48 shield being applied on that mid lane Axie, and it only heals from a Sakura or the Leafs. Doesn't have any other healing options other than the cards, because the arcane buff doesn't heal you, it just reduces the damage, which is it does a decent job, right? 20% less, then you got 25% less from the steel skin. It's not that easy to break through it. The Indian star coming through. Can't really use the gecko anymore, which is a bit of a shame. If he was able to take these debuffs somehow, it would have been slightly better for the occasion, but that's not the case. And we'll see how Spamandrice can crack through this Axie. Neon is definitely going to come through. Look at that, double fury, stacking that up perfectly, leaving himself on 5 energy. And with all of these cards and the Blood Moon, he's going to be able to finish this Axie off. And it is the team that is currently sitting in rank 1 that takes the win. Endless Anger, an incredible rune. If you manage to craft it, then you are probably going to be in the high places of the leaderboard. And if you enjoyed this episode, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next one.